Welcome back to Revamp, guys. Now the VX Commodore, yeah, it's been a bit up and down in trying to get it finished. We've had a few hurdles to get over. Probably the best thing to do is let's just get straight into it and basically start off where we left off with taking it to the dyno to try and get this idle situation sorted out. So let's get straight into it. Alright, well, she's ready for hopefully a bit of a bath. We'll give it a little bath before we take it out. Hopefully this weather that you can hear, that you've been able to hear in the background, clears up a bit. Sounds like it's going to lift the roof off, but hopefully that clears up. Otherwise, you know, she's not going to be that enjoyable to drive. So we'll get it cleaned up and then we'll be off to wheel alignment in the next couple of days, and then the day after that is off to the tuners to try and fix this idling issue that we've been having. If you haven't seen what we've been trying to fix with the idling, check out the previous videos on it, and we'll catch back up in a minute, probably in car.
Almost there, brother. Let's see how it goes. Get this bloody idle fixed up so it doesn't rev its tits off while we're sitting in the lights. be something to do with the throttle body itself. They always seem to cause those problems. It's a big mouth 102mm throttle body. You couldn't do much with the idle because everything in the tune that he'd done was perfect. We wanted to get rid of this low traction control light too, but there was nothing in the computer that he could turn it on or off. And he basically said it had nothing to do with the tune. It was probably in the BCM. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to change to a Haltech management system and then put a fly-by-wire on it, which should eliminate those problems because it's all coming through the cable. But other than that, the car drives nice. We're on the freeway, we're doing 100 k's an hour. I'm in 6th gear and we're sitting on 1600 RPM. It's not bunny hopping anywhere, nice and smooth. So they did a great job with the tune and the car seems to be driving fine. So we'll get it back to the factory and maybe work on something different now. 1 tonner.
What did you do, man? What did you do?
I was just cruising and idling.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, the amount of power through the belt.
So that's why the engine bay is full of belt fibres, is it?
Yeah, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. No, I gave it a bit of a kick in 2nd gear and don't ask me why, but the belt obviously walked forward, so we might have to tighten this up slightly because...
I don't think it walked forward. I think it just stripped.
You reckon the underneath here stripped and then it moved forward? That could possibly be a case too. If it's got no teeth on it.
Look at that air cleaner.
Yeah, she's brand new.
Ooh-wee.
She's brand new, eh? Okay, so this has got to go under.
It's got to go under, yeah.
This one.
Have you adjusted it off yet?
Yeah. Yeah, it's adjusted down. Or adjusted up. Get her under. There she is.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but the entire engine bay is just covered in fibres.
Yeah, it's nice and shiny now, isn't it?
I really don't think that walked forward. I think that just stripped, eh? So this is the new red label.
Opti belt, Amiga HP, supposedly
Red label madness.
high power.
Alright, so I did notice that a lot of these bolts weren't really as tight as I would like them. Now they did get a small amount of Loctite put on them to try to stop them coming undone because we have found them loose before. But yeah, I'm obviously going to have to find a way to stop them coming loose again in the future. We might just see, I might drain the oil out of it, see if there's any metal in the oil. If not, I might put it back on with some fresh oil. So we've done a bit of a measurement from the body of the blower to the back of the pulley here. Now when we turn the pulley's not out of shape or anything. What we've got is almost a mil difference between measuring on this side and measuring on this side. it's almost like the shaft is sitting crooked in the actual body of the blower itself. So I think the best solution is what we're talking about doing in the first place. We will send this to Kappa in South Australia. We'll just get them to go through it. Apparently there are some bearing issues that do arise, so they'll go over it, make sure it's all right. I'm going to have to address why these bolts are coming loose. They were Loctited in last time. Whether it's got something to do with the extra bracket sitting on top of the blower bracket, I don't know, but I'm going to have to address that once it comes back. So, looks like box it up and express poster away. Okay, now we've got the Procharger off, getting repaired at the moment, as you saw just before. So I thought I'd take this opportunity just to try and have just another play around with the idling issue. As far as the tuner is concerned, it pretty much comes down to the size of the throttle body. They like to run electric throttle body, but like, I mean, I'm sure it's possible to get it to work properly. I've read a couple of things about a couple of different things that previously I just didn't think were likely to cause an issue, but now that we actually have the car, we've actually got the car, it now stalls regularly instead of staying high. So I've got the throttle body closed off as much as possible, and the idle is extremely low. It's about 600, 650, somewhere around that, which is way too low for a car like that. So I have read in a few spots where people open up the ports for the idle control motor, try and get the flow through there a little better. So I'm going to take that off while the car's down, out of action. I'm going to take the idle control motor off, have a look, see what we can do, if we can open them up, to get them flowing a little bit better. If we can, maybe we can run it with a little less throttle plate angle, keep that throttle plate angle nice and low, and maybe we can stop it from stalling and carrying on with a little extra flow through there. So I'm going to take this off and yeah, have a look at it. Alright, straight away you can see that's a much nicer hole. Get a lot more flow. I haven't really touched this edge here very much because I think the distancing between here and here is rather critical, between the throttle plate and there. You don't want to start, you know, creating any issues with the timing between the opening of the throttle and that. But that's a lot better, more in line with the amount of flow that can be had through this side. So we're going to give that a go. Obviously we have to we've got to get a new gasket, and we're obviously going to have to reset the idle stepper motor because, you know, we're going to run this at a lot lower setting, and we're going to try and obviously we're going to have to reset the idle stepper motor. We're going to give it a bit of a clean. It's a bit carboned up as well. obviously that's because we're going to be running this throttle plate at a lot tighter angle. Now we're going to have to put in a new gasket, all that kind of stuff, but you know, that's obviously going to flow a lot more air. The hole is probably double the size now, you know, so hopefully that will make some difference. It seems to be that everything we're trying sort of only has, like, makes small differences to the issue. So pretty much that's how we're having to tackle it, just biting off little bits of the problem at a time. There seems to be no great, you know, one fix for the whole problem. You know, eventually we may end up going to electric throttle body and management system change like the tuner is suggesting, but you know, to be honest, I can't see any reason why this shouldn't work. Whether we've got to make little changes here and there to make it work, so be it, but yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't work. So I'm going to get a new gasket and we'll show you the results, see if it makes any changes.
The blower's actually back from Kappa now. When they got it down there and pulled it apart, they found out that the two bearings that were inside were slightly worn. Well, they were more than slightly worn. They looked like an old skateboard wheel rattling around. So they fixed that up for us, sent it back. They've also added a different system that we're going to use on it to see how it works, because the Prochargers are fully sealed, which builds up a lot of pressure and has nowhere to go. So they've changed it to see how it works. They've put a reservoir that's on the going to sit on the guard.
I'll show them later on.
Yeah, Toby can show you how it works, and the oil's going to be able to move freely in and out as it needs. So he'll put that back on now and see how she works, and hopefully we fixed up the high idle problem as well. Toby's honed out the inside of the throttle body. I don't know if he showed you that or not, but he'll probably show you once it goes on, and hopefully that's fixed the problem, and that'll be the end of it. Fingers crossed.
Like Jimmy was saying, we've got the Procharger back from Kappa. They're in South Australia. They do all your servicing and repairs on Prochargers as well as the Vortex. Now they've actually changed a couple of things on this. They've given us this little reservoir kit with some braided line. It still had pressure in the casing when they pulled it apart. So they suggested that we run the breather cap with the reservoir, and they've actually given us their branded oil, supercharger oil, a little bit thicker than the Procharger stuff. We've got that we've got these parts off into trial at the moment, and we'll be reporting back to them, you know, if we have any problems or anything like that. So there's a couple of little changes we've made to the Procharger. So I've got to find a place to mount this, get the line connected up. Yeah, so we can get the oil in it and everything.